Good morning, everybody. I hope you've had a good week. Well, it's the school holidays now, isn't it? So I hope you've been able to do some fun things. We're going to carry on with our stories, and today's story is about pride. It's something called pride, and it's the same story that the grown-ups are going to be listening to in church online as well. So pride is when you think you're better than someone else. The problem with this is that God hates pride. He doesn't like it very much. When we think we're better than others, we also start to think that we don't need God and that we can handle things on our own. The thing is, we always need God. He made us so that we would need him. He wants us to depend on him and ask him for help. If we think we've got everything figured out and that we know it all, then we're really going our own way, aren't we, and turning away from God. Just have a little think about the last time you didn't do as you were told at home, or you weren't very nice to a friend and all you thought about was how you were feeling and didn't really care about how the other person felt. In this story, we're going to see how God handles pride and how badly he wants to stop it from happening. And it all started with a king called Nimrod. And this story takes place after the story of Noah and the flood in the Bible. Everything was going great. Everyone in the whole world spoke the same language, and some of the people ended up living in a place called Babylonia. Then King Nimrod decided he wanted to be famous. He wanted everyone to know him and how great he was. So he convinced the people who lived in Babylonia that they too could be very great and famous if they built a tower that went all the way to heaven. So the people went to work making bricks for the Tower of Babel. It was hard work, but the people wanted everyone to know that they'd made the tower so that it reached heaven. So that made them work even harder. The people also convinced themselves that by building the tower, they would stay united. Since they already spoke the same language, now they'd be building the tower together. Their pride had taken over, and they were all thinking about was that they'd be known all over the world for building the biggest and best tower ever. God could see what was happening all along, but decided to come down to earth and see the tower the people were building. God could tell the people's hearts were more focused on themselves and the tower than on him. He was very disappointed and angry with them. God said, I see that the people think they can do anything because they all speak the same language. They've already begun to turn away from me, and soon there won't be anything good left. All they're going to do is sin and do bad things. I'm going to mix up their languages so they won't understand each other, and this way they won't be able to work together to sin against me. After God said this, the people could no longer understand each other. It seemed like they were babbling and making funny noises. All the people suddenly spoke different languages, probably like French or Spanish or Chinese, plus many other languages, and they were all very confused. This was the beginning of the languages. Imagine what would have happened if the people didn't try to build the tower in the first place and they focused on God instead. Maybe we might all speak the same language today. From there, the Lord scattered the people all over the whole earth. It's interesting because when the people started building the Tower of Babel, Babel meant gateway to God. But after God mixed up their language, it just meant confusion. Even the word Babel that we use today is said to come from that day when everybody was babbling with confusion. So you can see how much God doesn't like pride. The people could have done amazing things for God when they all spoke the same language, and they could have been unified that way. Instead, they decided to do something silly and build a great big tower, just so that other people would notice them and call them great. The opposite of pride is humility, or to be humble. The way you can be humble is by realizing that everyone is special. Each of us might be good at some things, but you can be sure that each person is special at something that you're not. If you want to be humble, remember to listen to your parents and those in authority. Be kind to others instead of putting them down, and read your Bible. And by doing these things, you're not just focusing on yourself. After all, pride does cause a lot of trouble. Right, here's your questions. These are true or false questions. First one. God told men to build a tower. Was that true or false? God told men to build a tower. Second question. The men wanted to glorify God with their tower. Is that true or false? Third question. God gave men different languages to speak to separate them. Is that true or false? Next question. The tower was finished. Is that true or false? And the last question. Man spread across the earth. Is that true or false? There's a couple of activities that you might want to do, and I'll put the instructions up for them on the Messy Church page. But one thing you could do is, if you've got any Lego bricks or building bricks, see how tall you can make a tower without it falling down. And if you've got Jenga, have a go at that as well. Who can build the tower, and who's going to take the brick out that makes the tower fall down? Okay, have a good week. There's other questions that are going to be on the Messy Church page to go with the video that's on there, but we'll put those up as well. Have a good week, everybody. Bye-bye.